Yeah, guys, welcome to a podcast short with me and Harv again. Yeah,
I have.
Hey, Harv. Yeah, unfortunately, no Stan, but what we've got is a good meaty topic today. Me and Harv have a bit of specialty because we come from two different backgrounds when it came to going to the gym. That first step to improving your health, because let's be honest, you can work out in many different ways, but one of the most efficient ways to work out, I think, is by going to the gym, getting to the resources that can help you obtain what you'd like, whether that is just being a healthy person or aspiring to look like something or whatever.
Yeah, I think we want to talk about the myths around going to the gym.
Yeah.
Why people get scared, some of the things that might be stopping you from going to the gym, or
Totally, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people will try and like work out at home, but just because, like, I mean, I had a friend who used to always ask me like fitness stuff, and he'd be like, "Oh, like, how'd you do this? How'd you do that?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, if you want to come down to the gym with me, I can like write you a program. We can like have a workout together." And his response was quite interesting. He said, "I need to lose some weight first, and then I'll be comfortable going to the gym." And it's really sad that people feel like that, and it's sort of paradoxical because you want to go to the gym to lose weight, but you don't feel like you can go because you feel like gym is a place for fit people, so you want to get fit before you get fit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's really funny that you said that because I had a similar experience when I first started going to the gym. I used to go with my mate, and one of the things that he said to me was like, "I don't feel ready yet." It's like, why is that? I've not put on enough weight. I was like, that's the whole reason why you're coming here. So, oh no, I need to set out my diet first. I can't take those steps. So, whoa. Hold on, man. What's the real problem is that I need to put on more weight. I can't do this. Now, I think the first myth is accepting that a lot of the time people are just obsessed with themselves rather than you. So the first myth is accepting, how would you sort of ground that as?
So I'd probably put that as people go to the gym and worry about people looking at them. I mean, I think this is probably different for girls. I wouldn't feel comfortable speaking for women 100%. On this matter, but as a man, I feel like you can get worried that people are looking at your form, people are looking at you thinking you're, I don't know, maybe skinny, maybe fat, but I feel like one of the first kind of walls you can break through is realizing people are just focusing on themselves. No one's looking at you. No one really cares what you're doing, unless you're like doing something incredibly unsafe, which someone will hopefully point that out to you. But yeah, I feel like that's probably one of the biggest checkpoints that you can get to is just being comfortable in the gym environment.
Mm-hmm. I think 9 times out of 10, it's confidence. Go into the gym confident. Obviously, if you don't know how to do a machine, that's why they have gym staff there. You've got to remember, everyone in the gym is sort of your mate. They're just focusing on themselves right now. Imagine you're in a classroom, right? If you're in need of help of, let's say you got a hard question on the paper, you put your hand up and the teacher comes over. It's the same in the gym. If you're like, I really want to use this machine, I want to work on, let's say, my chest. How do I exactly do that? How do I make sure I'm doing it right? Well, you raise your hand up, you go over to the front desk, you go to a member of the staff and go, "Hey, I wanted to use this machine. Can you help me out?" And you know what? That's what they're employed to do. They're there to help you out. So if anything, sometimes just doing that is enough. I mean, the people next to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. Normally the biggest people in the gym, they've spent the most time in the gym, so they're the most comfortable there. And it also means they know the most.
Yeah.
Don't think that they aren't going to talk to you. I mean, I think we've probably both got to the point now where sometimes you'll get people asking for a spot, or like maybe you'll see someone and you think you can like drop them a little nugget of advice or like help them out a little bit. And it's really good to be able to do that and then see that or feel like you're helping someone on their own journey. No one's going to be like, "What the hell, I'm not going to talk to you. Why are you asking me this question?" Like, everyone is kind of there with a mutual respect of, we're all trying to better ourselves here.
Yeah.
And if you've got the courage to come and ask me, or I mean, it's kind of human. It's kind of like people skills. Everyone likes to feel like they can be useful.
Yeah.
So make use of that.
Yeah, and I think, remember, they started somewhere too. Like, no one is built like Arnold. Like, that man is massive, but he did that through years of training and working, and he was happy to talk. Remember that Arnold actually does videos. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He does videos now where he actually actively goes and just helps people at the gym, and he's one of the biggest men ever. Like, so when you go into your gym and you see someone that looks like Arnold, he's massive, don't think that he's going to be like, oh, sorry, can't help, mate, I'm too busy with my work. 9 times out of 10, you go like, yeah, give me a second, I'll come over and help. Yeah, it's quite easy. That's what you need. And it's that moment of realization where you recognize everyone in the gym is the same. They're just wanting to self-improve. Because the best feeling as someone who, I say I go to the gym pretty well, and I've been going for a couple of years now, and the best feeling in the world is when I'm doing a workout and I have someone come over and say, hey, quick question, how did you do that? Or can you spot me? Can you help me with this? Because it's a rewarding question.
Yeah.
Because it's them accepting your value and skill. And on top of that as well, you get to bring that to the table. You get to show them and help them on their journey. That's a rewarding thing. Remember, it's all about helping each other. And that's what the gym staff are there for. That's why the people who all go to the gym are there for. If they don't know what they're doing, they'll tell you. They'll just go, I have no idea. But at the same time, at least you can say to yourself, well, that was the first step and it was pretty darn easy. 100%.
I feel like talking to people in the gym is also a really good thing.
Absolutely.
It's going to help you feel way more confident in them, way more comfortable. It's going to feel like your second home eventually. I mean, I love going. It's my favorite part of my day.
Yeah, I mean, I'll call Harvey and be like, yeah, what are you doing now? He's like, yeah, I'm just at the gym.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like part of it is the community. I mean, like 100%. Talking to people, seeing the same people there every day or so.
And we've mentioned people a couple of times, which I think brings us nice onto the other point. You don't have to be a particular type of person to enjoy the gym.
Yeah, I mean, it goes on from what we were saying before about how maybe you feel too skinny or too fat to start going to the gym. I think a lot of people will put off doing something, or not put off, but they'll be afraid of doing something because they feel like everything isn't perfect beforehand.
Totally, yeah.
So like, it ends up being a procrastination technique because you're like, oh, I'm not going to go to the gym because my diet isn't perfect, and that has to be absolutely dialed in. I'm guilty of this. I won't move on until I think I'm doing absolutely perfect, and if there's a slight problem with it, I just don't think it's worth doing at all.
Yeah.
So, but the important thing is realizing that you're making progress. Taking action and doing something wrong is way better than waiting to get the perfect way of doing something but not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, like, you've got to remember, like, everyone comes in different shapes and sizes. When you walk down the street, when you go into work, when you go into the gym, it's all the same. You do not have to be a particular type of person to enjoy the gym. Me and Harv are 2 different body types. And on top of that, we both go to the gym. There are people that we will see in our own gym that are completely different. And that is something you need to understand. Stop telling yourself no. Stop giving into those insecurities. That reality, they're controlling you right now. They're stopping you from doing what you want, but you've done the first step, which is to accept, I want to go to the gym. I want to change. And that is the best thing in the world because everyone else in the gym wants to change. On top of that as well, they're all going to be coming from different starting points as well. So for example, from my personal experience, when I first started going to the gym, I was really like skinny. I used to describe myself as skinny fat because that's the journey I had to the point where I am now. I've gotten past that point, but at the same time, I recognize that when I was in there, you have these really ripped dudes, then you have these really bigger dudes, then you have these really small girls, but then you have these really big girls. There's an entire different spectrum of people that go there, but they've all got the same goal in mind, and that shouldn't stop you as well.
Yeah, I think, I mean, my story, I've always played sport, but I mean, in terms of actually going to the gym, I went to the gym at my rugby club for a few years. I'd always liked the idea of going to the gym, being big. I mean, I think everyone has that thought where they wake up at they're up at 2 a.m. and you're like, right, this is me now. And you just get out of bed. I'm gonna get ripped now and just start doing push-ups on your floor. Like, I feel like everyone has. Everyone has that moment where they're like, oh no, this is gonna be me now. But I feel like you can't actually start making progress unless you put in the right building blocks. So you need to have sources where you can learn from, which you can keep going back to, keep challenging, and keep just gaining more information from. And then I feel like you need a routine. I feel like you need your diet. And when you start to slowly improve all these things, don't wait until one's perfect and then you can start thinking of the other one. If you can make small incremental improvements to each aspect, then eventually they're going to become much easier for you to control. You're going to feel like you've got a hand on all of them, and you slowly get better and better at each thing. It's about, I don't get mad that you're not getting huge or completely shredded in a matter of months. It's a long process, but you need to fall in love with the process. You need to fall in love with slowly getting better. You not getting obsessed with the result.
Yeah, I think that brings me to another thing. The next myth that's on my mind is you have to lift big to get results. Untrue. So fucking untrue. You know, it's funny, the other day, me and Harv were at the gym, and I like to say that I have quite an ego when it comes to my shoulders. And one thing that I was doing some lateral raises, and Harv just came over to me and was a bit like, whoa, dude, go down. I was like, what do you mean? Is that you're going to get much more efficiency from doing lighter weights? And that's coming from someone who's been going to the gym for about, 3-4 years now? You know, people still make mistakes, but on top of that as well, lifting bigger weights does not amount to anything when you could be lifting smaller weights and getting just as much as a burn.
It's like when you're just starting and you think, oh my God, the guy next to me is doing like 14s, like, and he's doing like 12s and he's curling them, and I'm only doing 8s. Like, oh no, like I bet he thinks I'm so small. No, right? The only time people will think you're being silly or look at you like, what the hell is that guy doing, is when you've got some massive weight you've got no control over and your form is whack.
Yeah.
Because like as people who've been going to the gym for a while, like you look at that and you just go,
mate, what are you doing?
Mate, what are you doing? Like, you really need some help, or you really need to leave your ego at the door.
Yeah.
And just come in to train yourself. Don't like try and break your back. Don't try and injure yourself. Don't try like trick your body into thinking that it can lift massive weight when it just can't. Like,
realistically, you're gonna get there, but it's not now.
Yeah, and you're going to get so much respect from everyone else in the gym.
Yeah.
If you just do what you can do and do it well.
Yeah. We talk about like the fact that people aren't there to judge you. They're not. They're too focused on themselves, and they are. But at the same time, they notice these things because everyone does. You know, we all have eyes, and people who do go to the gym, they do tend to at that moment to have a look at what other people are doing. But that's just natural. And one thing you've got to recognize, a lot of the time, people will build up respect when you're going in there. If you're not lifting the heaviest weight, but perfecting your form, that takes discipline. And we did an earlier episode or a later episode, you know, we did an episode where we actually spoke about how that makes a man. It's having that ability to be disciplined. And on top of that as well, it's that efficiency that comes with that. I mean, you know, in reference to what me and Harv do every day, we try to be as efficient as we can. And that is applied in the gym as well. Because if you're trying to push yourself by taking on bigger weights that you can't handle, that's all right. It's like, literally, as you said, leave your ego at the door. In gym culture, is me and Harv will say, or if anyone would say, everyone who, you know, just someone who goes to the fucking gym, right? Ego lifting is a thing. Now, for people who don't know, ego lifting is when you lift way too high because of your own ego. Yeah. That is something to just leave at the door, man.
Like, people, it's very easy to go big weights equal big muscles, but it's just not true. If say you have a fairly big weight and you're swinging it about, you're just using momentum to get it up because your form's crap. So you're just like jerking your entire body using momentum to get it up, trying to hold it for milliseconds at the top. Gravity brings it straight back down. Your muscle's not doing anything. Whereas if you have a lower weight, you can force the contraction up, hold it, and then slowly bring it down. That's another thing people don't do. Control in everything. Control up, control down. Because, I mean, you get some people who like will do the rep up and then just let it drop down. That's half of the rep. That's half of the work you're just missing out on. If you can control it up, control it down, you're gonna be in a much better place than someone who might be chucking around like, I don't know, 50% more weight, but they just don't have a clue. They're going to injure themselves. Also, that's the thing. They're not going to enjoy the gym experience. Yeah. If you're lifting big weights, you can tell when your form's a bit whack.
Well, that's normally what happens when you start lifting bigger weights. Your form is sacrificed. Yeah. So when you see those people that are like benching something ridiculous, and they're pushing it off their chest and they're really slow.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're trying when it's really slow. Because if you think about when you see like powerlifters or you go to see like competitions where people are lifting weights, the ones that are really slow and controlled, they are testing your power. They are allowing you to build that muscle. If you think about it, you see that guy that, you know, is like repping out something really fast, he's making all those grunts and stuff. You think, whoa, that's so sick. But at the same time, you've got to remember, like, what's the difference between efficiency and just bashing it out? Because eventually it just turns into cardio.
Yeah.
So I think that there's loads of gym myths out there, but more importantly, when we talk about this, it's not to sort of scare you or try and tell you these are the things that you need to just abandon, because in the end of the day, you are who you are. But what we're trying to do is trying to get you into that mindset where you can accept that you're just overthinking.
Yeah, I mean, this is a learning. I mean, going to the gym and improving yourself physically is a learning process. If you don't feel like you're ready to do that, that's okay. But
Start small.
yeah, start small. Just do something. I mean, I listen to the Mind Pump podcast, which is actually really good. I recommend everyone go listen to that. It's a bunch of personal trainers. They're like veteran personal trainers, and
so big talking points. There.
yeah, so they have had like millions of clients, or they've had hundreds of thousands of clients between them, and just for the process is building the habit. That's the biggest point. So even if you have to start by going once a week and doing 10 minutes, you want to do that until you're not even thinking about it, till you're excited to do more. Don't promise yourself you're going to go 5 times a week when you've never even established going once a week.
Yeah.
Because you're just setting yourself up to fail. Say you're going to go once or twice a week, something that you know you can do. Build up that bank of success. Build up evidence for you keeping your word, doing what you say you're going to do, and then go from there. But don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's meant to be something that you want to learn to enjoy. And if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick to it.
Yeah, and I think, if anything, these myths are just to sort of let you feel that you're not alone. Me and Harv are at these points.
Everyone in the gym, doesn't matter how big they are, how strong they are, everyone has felt these things. And don't feel like you're alone, or don't feel like these are just things that are happening to you.
Yeah, so if anything, guys, we'll end that short there. But just stay positive and make sure to love yourself a little bit for any step that you're taking for change, because it's always a positive impact on you. So yeah, take care, man. Have a good day.